Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today we'll be going through the tutorial on the TI Inspire CX2 CAS calculator, and the topic is on the binomial probability. So let's get started. So here we've got multiple choice tests with 20 questions, each with 5 possible answers, only one of which is correct. Find the probability that a student who guesses the answer to every question will have A, no correct answers, B, 10 or more correct answers, and C, at least 12 correct answers given they have 10 or more correct answers. Okay, so the first thing is we need to set up our binomial answers. So when we first read this sentence here, we can see there are 20 questions. So that means our n number of trials is 20, each with 5 possible answers, but only one of them is correct. So that means our probability of success is 1 over 5 because it's 1 in 5 chances, which means that it's 0.2. And then find the probability that a student who guesses the answer to every question will have no answers. So if X is our the event of having a solution correct, and in this case, our probability of X would be equal to 0, meaning that out of 20 questions, we have no correct answers. And then that means out of the 20, we have 0. So it's 20, 0 here for our NCR. And then we have our probability of success, which is 0.2, or probability of correct answers, 0.2, which has a power of 0. And then we have the probability of the event's failure or the incorrect answer is 0.8, which has power of 20 here. And then we can set it up on our calculator later. The next question is probability of 10 or more correct answers. So in this case, it's going to be an inequality. So x will be bigger or equals to 10. And essentially that means 20 pick 10, and then we have 0.2, 10, and 0.8, 10, and then plus 20 and 11, 0.2 power of 11, and then we've got 0.8 to the power of 9, and so on, until we have 20, 20. So out of all the questions, we've guessed them all correctly, which has the probability of NCR of 20, 20, and then zero point 0.2 to the power of 20, and then 0.8 to the power of 0. But we can set that up very quickly on the calculator, which I'll show you in a second. Part C is at least 12 correct answers given they have 10 or more correct answers. So in this question here, we have the conditional probability. So if you can recall that conditional probability is probability of A given B, which is probability of A intersect B over probability of B. Now in this case, our probability of A is going to be probability of X bigger or equals to 12 because you have 12 or more correct answers. And then our probability of B is the probability of 10 or more correct answers. So then if we plug that into our conditional probability, so we have probability of X bigger than equals to 12 intersect with probability of X bigger than equals to 10 over probability of X bigger than equals to 10. Now, one of the key things to understand is the top part here where the two probability intersect. One of the ways to help students to remember or understand is kind of draw a number line here and see where they intersect. So if this is x bigger than equals to 10, so that means is 10 and then onwards until 20 because our maximum trials is 20. And then we have, so in this case, it's closed circle here goes up to here. And then probably of x bigger than equals to 12 will be up to here. And this is closed circle here up to 20. So where they intersect is going to be here, which is basically the same as x bigger than equals to 12. So that means we can simplify the top expression as just x bigger than equals to 12 over probability of x bigger than equals to 10. And then what we can do is we can use the answer from part B to plug into our answer on the bottom here, and then just use our calculator to solve for the top part here. to get the final answer. Okay, so what we'll do now is we'll go over to our calculator. So let's set up our calculator here. Okay, so the first expression is we want probability of x equals to 0. So you go to menu, probability, and distribution. So you go to probability, distribution, and then go press A. So you can see here, this is binomial PDF. So go for that option there because you're just looking for x equals to 0. So the number of trials is 20, probability of success is 0.2, and x is 0. So if you look at that there, so that's our binomial PDF. And then select OK, and that's your answer for part A. So probability of x equals to 0 is 0.011529. For the second part there, which is probability of x bigger or equals to 10. Now we're using the CDF, binomial CDF. So you go to menu, probability, distribution, and then go to B. So it's just underneath the binomial PDF. So you select the CDF, which is this one here. So binomial CDF, go enter. And then again, you go for 20. Probability of success is 0.2. Now, in this case, our lower bound is going to be 10 because x is equals to 10 or bigger than 10. And then our upper bound is going to be 20 because maximum number of trials is 20. So you set that up and then just go OK. And that would be your answer for part B. So this is the answer for x, probability of x bigger or equals to 10, which is 0.002595. And the last one is the conditional probability. So the probability of x bigger or equals to 12 over probability of x bigger and equals to 10. So we just need to solve for the top part because we can use our answer from part B to help answer part C. So you go to probability distribution, and then in this case, again, go to binomial CDF. And then go for number of trials is 20, P is 0.2, lower bound is 12, and upper bound is 20. So this is for probability of x bigger than equals to 12. And then go for OK. And that's your answer for probability of x bigger than equals to 12. So the final answer for part C is actually the probability of x bigger than equals to 12 divided by probability of x bigger than equals to 10. So if you copy the answers from before, so if you do it like this, so you just copy and paste the decimals from before, and then just go enter, and that's your final answer, which is 0.039204. So that's the answer for part C. Okay, so if you've got any questions, feel free to comment down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next lesson. Okay, see you later.